All right, we're about to jump into two completely different worlds when it comes to modern relationships. I'm talking polar opposites. One is this kind of wild, pragmatic trend that was born on the internet, and the other is a deeply held tradition that's literally shaping the population of an entire state. And it all kicks off with a really, really strange new phrase.
So, first, let's talk about this viral phenomenon. Whether people are serious about it or it's just a joke, it tells you a ton about the dating world today and the pressures that are shaping it.
Okay, so what in the world is hagmaxing? Well, it started out as a meme, but it just blew up online because I think it kind of hit a nerve. It's the term for younger guys, Gen Z men, who are actively looking for older, more established women for, serious relationships. Now, for a lot of people, this isn't just some weird internet thing. They see it as a direct result of bigger economic and social problems. The idea is that the traditional life goals, the house, the family, the whole package, it just feels totally out of reach for a lot of young men today. So they're changing their priorities.
And when you dig into the reasons people gave online, it paints a pretty clear picture. It's everything from pure financial pragmatism, dating someone who's already stable, to wanting more emotional maturity and less drama. Some guys even talk about it as a way to level up their social standing. And here's a really key point that keeps coming up. Starting a family, it's just not the main goal here.
But get this, the idea is not new at all. I mean, believe it or not, Benjamin Franklin, one of America's founding fathers, wrote this incredibly blunt and honestly kind of hilarious letter arguing for this exact same setup. And his reasons? Better conversation, more experience, and other benefits. They sound surprisingly similar to what you read on forums today. So all of this leads to a much bigger question, right? If having kids is optional and financial security is the number one prize, what does that actually mean for the future of the traditional family? Well, to figure that out, let's do a hard pivot and look at a place where the answer is completely, and I mean utterly, different. Okay, so we're leaving the chaos of internet memes and diving straight into cold, hard data from a state that just consistently goes against the grain. We're talking about Utah, which is a genuine demographic outlier in the US. So while most of the country is seeing declining birth rates, Utah has, for years, had one of the highest fertility rates in the entire nation. Just to put that into perspective, from 2011 to 2021, on average, they had over 75 babies born for every 1,000 women of childbearing age. That number has stayed way, way above the national trend. And this chart really shows you just how big that difference is. You can see the fertility rate for the US as a whole has been going down, down, down. But Utah's rate, even with its own small dips, is just in a different league. This isn't some statistical blip. It's a consistent long-term thing. So why? Why is Utah so different? Well, researchers and demographers are pretty much all in agreement. They point to one huge factor: the state's dominant religious culture and its powerful focus on family and having children. All right, so let's dig into the core beliefs that actually shape this whole culture. Because if you really want to understand the numbers, you have to get the theology that's driving the behavior. For members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, temples are the most sacred places on earth, and they're different from their regular Sunday chapels. It's inside these temples that they make what they call eternal covenants, or promises, with God. And maybe the most important promise of all is to create a family that is sealed, which means it's bound together not just for this life, but forever. And honestly, this one little difference in the marriage ceremony says everything about their entire worldview. Most traditional marriage vows have that line, "Until death do you part." But a temple marriage, which they call a sealing, is performed for time and all eternity. The family isn't seen as something temporary for this life. It's an eternal, permanent structure. So where does this incredibly powerful family-first doctrine even come from? Well, the answer is in a foundational book of scripture that informs all these beliefs, a text that for them stands right alongside the Bible. See, the Book of Mormon isn't seen as a replacement for the Bible, but as a companion to it. Its subtitle is actually Another Testament of Jesus Christ, and believers feel it restores really important doctrines and clarifies truths about God's plan for families, truths they believe were lost over the centuries. When you put the Book of Mormon next to other major sacred texts like you see here, you can see how it fits in. Each one has a different core theme, right? Like covenant and law in the Torah, or grace and salvation in the New Testament. Well, the Book of Mormon's primary theme is restoration. The whole idea is to bring back what followers believe is a fuller understanding of Christ's teachings, with the eternal family right at the center of it all. So there you have it. We've gone from an internet meme about pragmatic dating all the way to demographic data that's being driven by religious doctrine. We're talking about two completely different worlds, and each one has its own logic for what a relationship is even for.
And that really brings us to the stark contrast. On one side, you've got the hag maxing path. It's totally individualistic, it's deeply pragmatic about money, and having kids is completely optional. Then, on the other side, you have this covenant path. It's community focused, it's driven by faith, and having children isn't just an option, it's central to the whole purpose of life and eternity.
And that leaves us with one last massive question. As all the old rules and traditional norms keep changing, and in some cases just falling apart, what's going to be the foundation for families in the future? Is it going to be financial pragmatism? Is it going to be eternal faith? Or is it going to be something totally different that we haven't even seen yet? It's a question that really defines the cultural crossroads we're all standing at right now.